Our weed of the week is one of my wife's least favorite weeds. Now, Brian and I have weeds that we really hate, and most of the time they're out in our corn and soybean and wheat fields, but when it comes to weeds around the yard, my wife really takes it personal when I end up letting a little bit of our weed of the week, crabgrass, go. And yeah, it can be a problem out in fields too, but I'm going to first start talking about crabgrass in yards. Now, when we're talking about identification of crabgrass, when it's small, it's a real hairy grass. There's hairs all over the leaves and stems. And when it gets a little bit bigger, it looks kind of like fingers. It has finger-like projections at the top that have seed on them. And boy, it's not a good thing. So to take care of crabgrass, there's a few different things you can do. And you want to start out early before that grass starts germinating. Now, the good thing with crabgrass, it's a warm season grass, so you can get an early jump on it with things like Treflan and Baylan.
Well, what we suggest in lawns is that you approach the broadleaves very early in the season, like in our part of the country, before the leaves are getting on the trees or before the flowers come out. So hit broadleaves in April, like mid-April. Then you want to come back and take care of your crabgrass. Like Darren said, you can do it less expensively with Treflan or Baylan before the crabgrass comes up.
But it's real fussy. You have to get out there before those seeds start to germinate. And like you said, it is a warm season grass, so you have a little bit more time, but depending where you're at in the country, it may have already started germinating in your area.
Yep, so if it has started germinating and some of it's even starting to poke out of the ground, what you can do is switch over to a product called Drive. Now in sorghum, for all of you sorghum farmers, you use Paramount. Paramount is the exact same thing as Drive. But in lawns, you can use Drive. You can buy it in relatively small quantities, and you would use roughly 1 pound to the acre for Drive, and you will do a good job on crabgrass as well as a few other weeds too. But for crabgrass, there's really not much that will beat it if that crabgrass has already started coming up. Now, don't get me wrong, Drive is going to be more expensive than Treflan or Baylan, but if you're already seeing some crabgrass, there's not much else you can do. It's too late for Treflan and Baylan.
Like I mentioned, out in the fields, it's generally not a big problem. Crabgrass is a warm season grass. Typically, we've got some crop up that would shade it out, and also many of the pre-emerge products do have some decent activity on crabgrass.
They do, but you got to use the full rate on just about everything. Well, once again, our weed of the week is crabgrass. Do your best to get it under control in your lawn so your wife doesn't get mad at you. And yeah, it's an interesting weed, but we've got a bunch of different things you can do to make sure you're able to stop it.
Well, stay with us. We've got more Ag PhD to come right after this.